Before I get started today, I wanted to say that I'm going to be trying something new with this recording compared to the other two I've done so far. Instead of reading the blog post to you word for word, I'm actually just going to speak to you about the subject as though I'm talking directly with you. If you like this format or the previous format, one over the other, you can let me know down in the comments below. I'd actually really appreciate that format. All right, and now on to the subject of the day. The recipe for a nor'easter. So, nor'easters are classic winter storms, typically characteristic of New England and the Northeast, although they can happen in the Midwest as well. And people recognize them by lots and lots of snow. But what is it that makes a nor'easter? Why are they only found in these specific regions of the world, especially the Northeast? Well, let's take a look. So if we're looking at how to form a nor'easter like a recipe, then the two main ingredients are cold air and moisture. But, of course, things can't be that simple in nature. The colder the air, the less moisture it holds. So these two sources, these two ingredients, need to come from two separate areas. Our warm air is going to be holding our moisture, and the warm air is going to be coming from the southern United States, around the Gulf of Mexico and Florida. That area. It's going to pick up lots of moisture from that warm, humid air. And it's going to be carried up along the northeast coast by the westerlies, which is a major wind pattern that's caused by the rotation of the Earth, and also guided by the Gulf Stream, which is a major ocean current also caused by the rotation of the Earth. So yeah, thanks for spinning, Earth. As that warm air is moving up, it's met by cold air that's actually brought down, you guessed it, from the north. And the cold air is brought down from the polar vortex. And when those two air masses meet, that's when we're going to get our precipitation. Now, any form of precipitation is mostly caused by the meeting of two air masses. So, for example, it's normally cooler after it rains because a hot air mass has been pushed away by a cold air mass, and the meeting of those two is what caused the rainfall. And then after that meeting, after that front is what it's called, has moved away, then we're in the colder air mass, which is giving us our colder air temperature. So when these two air masses meet, if there's enough moisture and enough power in this storm, it can actually translate to lots and lots of snow, which little kid Sam, actually even big kid Sam today, loves. I love it. So, in order to be classified as a nor'easter, the winds actually need to be coming from the northeast. So just like the westerlies, the winds are coming from the west or the southwest and moving northeast. That's why they're called the westerlies, because they're coming from the west. A northeasterly wind is coming from the northeast. So think of it as from Maine coming down towards Connecticut in that kind of direction, that diagonal direction. Or it's rotating counterclockwise. Now, this actually was news to me. I thought that it was called a nor'easter because the storm normally occurs in the northeast, but actually it's because of how it rotates. And that makes sense because we can get nor'easters that happen in the Midwest as well. Like, for example, the Great Blizzard of 1888, also called the Children's Blizzard, which I just recently learned about, and that was crazy as well. Although people typically think of snow when it comes to nor'easters, actually nor'easters can be classified, or a storm can be classified as a nor'easter when the conditions are too warm for snow to form. Meaning that a rainstorm can also be classified as a nor'easter if the temperature is above a certain level above freezing, because snow can actually form all the way up towards close to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So actually, you can get a nor'easter with lots and lots of rainfall, which has its own challenges as well compared to a lot of snowfall. So I looked up some records for snowfall and rainfall within 24 hours in Connecticut. I'm a little biased to Connecticut because that's the homeland. Boop-a-loo. So the highest rainfall record in 24 hours in Connecticut is 12.77 inches, which is almost 13 inches, which doesn't seem like a lot when you compare it to snow, but keep in mind that when water freezes, it expands. So 12 inches of rain is actually a lot more water than 12 inches of snow. And that can cause problems with flooding because the ground can't absorb as quickly all of that rain, especially in areas with lots of pavement that just almost completely prevent absorption, like maybe major cities and places like that. So the record highest snowfall in Connecticut within 24 hours is 36 inches, which is 3 feet, and that is just amazing. That must have been quite a sight to see and a challenge to clear out of. I should mention that nor'easters can be very destructive and deadly. It is a beautiful reminder of how big and strong and powerful nature can be. So when we do have a nor'easter, the best thing to do is to just stay inside, pour yourself a hot drink, and enjoy the show.